Since the terrorist attacks in New York and Washington on September 11, 2001, 226 Alabama service members have died, 115 killed in combat. The mission of the Alabama Fallen Warriors Project is to honor them all and make sure we remember their sacrifice. In tonight's Spirit of Alabama report, WVUA 23's Mike Royer takes us to the place right here in Tuscaloosa where forever tributes are born.
Here they are, all 226 men and women from Alabama who served and have died since 9/11. Each picture is a loved one gone, but not forgotten. Not forgetting, that's what the Alabama Fallen Warriors Project is all about. Mark Davis is the founder.
The mission of the Fallen Warriors Project is to make sure they are not forgotten. That's my total mission.
Simple enough, but what can be done to preserve their memory? That's where Colonel Lee Busby comes in. Yes, the same Lee Busby that serves Tuscaloosa's District 4 on the City Council. The retired Marine Colonel creates the first clay molds of what will become beautiful bronze busts of the service members that we've lost. It's a talent, a gift, if you will, that Busby discovered just by being a dad.
I think some of my kids had some clay laying around, and I think I just started playing with it, and almost Play-Doh style, and it kind of looked like a face, and then I just went from there.
You can see the end result of Lee Busby's work. Here in Trussville, the city is expanding its Veterans Memorial Park, and the bust of the city's Jason Stegall, who died in 2009, is prominently placed. And the city of Hoover is home to Aldridge Gardens, a beautiful and peaceful place made possible by longtime businessman and philanthropist Eddie Aldridge. Lee Busby was commissioned to create this bust of Aldridge found near the entrance to the gardens. And farther back in the gardens, you'll also find the bust of other Alabama servicemen, including Andrew Lee Hand, killed in Afghanistan in 2010.
Lee has a really God-given talent for what he's done, and especially if you look at the eyes. That's what really strikes me every time I see it, is the eyes.
Lee Busby enjoys the work he does, but when it comes to creating the bust of fallen military members, well, it's personal.
Many of the military, depending on their stories, if I was there when they were killed, they take on a deeper meaning. The relations, some of the families, I still stay in touch with today. Some of them go deeper than others.
Once a family gives their consent, there is fundraising, and then the work begins. Lee Busby encourages family members to keep an eye on the work and make suggestions along the way. Busby is working from only photographs, and more than anything else, he wants to get it right.
As a sort of a generalization, Mike, when the mother sits down and tears start coming out, you got it. But to see your son or your husband come back to life in 3 dimensions in front of you is a different experience, and I think it helps some of them get across that last line of grieving and acceptance. Because after the tears, there's a lot of laughing and smiling.
So many of us remember Mike Spann from Winfield, Alabama, the first American to die in Afghanistan. His bust is on display at Auburn University. So all of the hours of work, the cost of creating a bronze bust of each service member is done to honor them. But remember the mission of the Fallen Warriors Project, to make sure they're never forgotten. Colonel Lee Busby understands that better than most.
A warrior dies twice. The first is when they draw their last breath. The second time is when their name is spoken for the last time. And these help keep that second one at bay.
That's the Fallen Warriors Project, and that's the Spirit of Alabama. Mike Royer, WVUA 23 News.
If you have a story you'd like to see us feature, email us at spiritofalabama@wvua23.com.